County Commission, 10 a.m. meeting of March 8th, 2022. At this time, please silence all electronic devices and mute your microphones. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
O merciful Creator, your hand is open wide to satisfy the needs of every living creature. Make us thankful for your loving providence and grant that we, remembering the account that we must one day give, may be faithful stewards of your good gifts. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, may we please have the roll call?
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Here.
District 2, Commissioner Moore.
Here.
District 4, Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
Here.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Here.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Here. Okay, we have no regular agenda items this morning. It's getting boring up here. So now's the time for public comment. Citizens are given an opportunity to comment on any current or future agenda items coming before the board and on other business under the board's purview. Today's public comment will be handled as follows. First, we will take public comment from those who are here in person. Then we will take public comment from those who are pre-registered for a WebEx link and are currently on the queue. And we request that when you address the board, comments are not directed personally against a commissioner or team member, but rather directed at the issues. This provides mutual respect between board members and the public. After stating your name and address for the clerk, a 3-minute timer will be activated. After 2 minutes, a single beep will indicate you have 1 minute left. When your time is up, 2 beeps will sound and you should close your comments. WebEx participants will be disconnected automatically when their time is up. Do we have anyone signed up?
I don't believe we have anyone that's signed up from the podium here. Is that correct? And we have 2 registered, Spencer Brass online.
It looks like they are signed up to speak on
They're
things
on
that might be
both.
in the afternoon.
Right.
But they want to speak this morning as well?
This afternoon is a continuance, so this would be their opportunity to speak to the item if they wish to.
Okay, so are they showing up online?
Spencer Brass.
Either one are online.
And Mark 12hoven.
Okay, then we will dispense. Would anyone here like to address the county commission at this time? Seeing no one, then we will move on to the consent agenda. Do we have any polls this morning? I don't have a poll sheet, actually.
I don't have one.
Resolutions first.
I
There is no
believe
poll
the items
sheet.
that we had raised have been resolved.
There is no poll sheet.
What?
Wow.
Wow.
Man, great meeting. Move approval consent agenda. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, what an unusual day.
Now you have resolutions.
Now we'll go to the resolutions, and I believe that
We have a request to delay the first one as the parties are still en route, and I will need to get the resolutions back from the day.
okay, so then we'll move on to Res 2, which is Commissioner Morris.
Resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, proclaiming the month of March as Irish American Heritage Month. Whereas Irish American Heritage Month is recognized in March every year as a way of honoring the achievements and contributions of Irish immigrants and their descendants living in the United States. And whereas the first recorded celebration of Irish Americans occurred with a St. Patrick's Day parade in New York City in 1762. By 1776, nearly 300,000 Irish nationals had immigrated to the American colonies, playing a crucial role in America's war for independence. And whereas Irish Americans played vital roles in the development of the United States of America and in creating the American system of government, 8 Irish Americans were signatories to the Declaration of Independence, and 19 presidents of the United States have been of Irish heritage. And whereas countless Irish Americans have been recognized for playing major roles in history of the United States, for example, the Irish-born James Hoban, who provided architectural plans for the White House in 1792, also served as one of the supervising architects for the United States Capitol. And whereas Irish-born Commodore John Barry fought the last sea battle of the American Revolution off the coast of Florida and was later recognized by the United States Congress as the first flag officer of the United States Navy. And whereas Irish Americans have provided leadership and service to the United States of America since the nation's founding, and it is fitting and proper to celebrate the rich cultural heritage and the many valuable contributions of Irish Americans. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby proclaims the month of March as Irish American Heritage Month, done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 8th day of March, 2022.
Move for approval.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One? Commissioner Moore.
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. So welcome. It's another great year for the Irish, right? And what we know we need to add to that next time is the greatest basketball player ever to grace the hardwood. We got to put Larry Bird on there as well. Would you not agree?
From Boston. So
Yes, that's right. But thank you all for being here, and I'll let you take it away.
Good morning. My name is Bob Blanchard. This is Clark Hill. I'm a resident of Land O'Lakes and a member of the Ancient Order of Hibernians. As a resident of Land O'Lakes, thank you for serving the communities of Pasco County. As a member of the Ancient Order of Hibernians, thank you for proclaiming March Irish American Heritage Month. For those who may not know, Hibernia is the Latin term for Ireland. Hibernian is anyone of Irish birth or descent. The Ancient Order of Hibernians is the oldest Irish Catholic fraternal organization in the United States. It was founded in 1836. I belong to the James Powers Division, one of two divisions in Pasco County. The other division is located in Newport Richey. One of our core principles is friendship. It's for that reason I am truly grateful to accept this proclamation as it demonstrates your friendship to all Irish American residents of Pasco County. Thank you, and God bless you.
Well, thank you both. We'll come down and do a photograph. I have a resolution to share with you, and I'll end with an old Irish proverb: "May you live long, die happy, and rate a mansion in heaven." So, thank you.
Thank you.
So let's see here. I'll jump between you guys. And then I have the paper one, the next one. Thank you. You got one more. One more. Go ahead. Look right at me, please.
Thank you.
Great.
Oh. Okay, now we can move on to Res 3. That's me.
A resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, recognizing the month of March as Women's History Month in Pasco County. Whereas Women's History Month traces its origins back to a national celebration in 1981 when Congress passed Public Law 9728, which authorized and requested the President to proclaim the week beginning March 7th, 1982 as the Women's History Week. In 1987, after being petitioned by the National Women's History Project, Congress passed Public Law 109, which designated the month of March 1987 as Women's History Month. Since 1995, the President has issued a series of annual proclamations designating the month of March as Women's History Month. And whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth of our nation in the face of discrimination and hardship, there are countless examples of American women building and shaping our nation. They served our nation throughout World War II, flocking to factories, hospitals, and even heading overseas to serve as pilots. They were at the forefront of the civil rights movement, campaigning fiercely against injustice, and have been instrumental in the establishment of charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions throughout the history of the nation. And whereas American women continue to play a critical role in every aspect of American life, women are a major force in the workplace today, often while still shouldering most responsibilities within the home. Women today continue to break through into traditionally male-dominated fields. Today, a record number of women serve in cabinet-level positions in our government. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners would like to take this opportunity to proudly recognize and thank all women who serve Pasco County within every branch of our county government, the Pasco County Board of County Commissioners would also like to recognize all women of the past and present who were and continue to be fearless trailblazers, educators, visionaries, and advocates of change. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, in regular session duly assembled, that said board hereby recognizes the month of March as Women's History Month in Pasco County, done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 8th day of March, 2022.
Move for approval.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Welcome. And of course, for some of us up here, this is a very special resolution. Commissioner, I think I am the 7th woman to be a county commissioner, and you might be the 8th. I'm gonna have to do my math here in a little bit. Go back through history and start thinking about that. You can help me with that. Yeah. So, and out of how many men? It's amazing where we've come, and we still have a long way to go. But welcome here this morning. Do you want to speak to us? Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourselves. And
Okay. I'm Denise Nicholas. I'm actually the chair of our Pasco County Commission on the Status of Women. And this is the amazing vice chair.
I'm Jenny Pearson Yingling, and again, it is an honor to serve our community and move forward to make sure that the women in our community are well represented.
well, I'm very grateful that you're serving on the commission. And we have a resolution for you and for the rest of the council, the commission. And I
Madam
thi-
Chair, today is actually International Women's
It's
Day.
today.
Yes, it
is.
is.
Same time.
Yes,
You
yes,
timed this
it is.
perfectly.
Yeah, Commissioner Oakley.
The Status of Women group. We're meeting with, on Thursday from 5 to 7 over at the Citrus Room at Cocapelli's. And I heard today that we've got 25 women coming to that meeting. So
Very nice.
it's going to be a good turnout.
One of many to come.
Yes,
We're
and
very excited.
That's
We
right.
actually have another one coming up on the 29th on the west side.
excellent. And I think I have an appointment today. I don't know if it's going to be today or the next board meeting too. And it's Dr. Moore. I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity to meet Dr. Moore. I recruited her from Hillsborough County, where she was the former principal of my niece at Middleton High School, then went on to be head of career and technical for Hillsborough County. But before that, she was at the Pentagon and served on the like the Weapons of Mass Destruction Council or something like that. I don't know. I have to remember what that council was that she sat on, but very, very interesting woman. I'm really excited that she's joining the commission.
It's on the commission,
Yeah.
yes.
She's amazing.
All right, well, we'll come
Madam
down.
Chair?
Oh, go ahead.
Just a quick
Yeah.
comment. As far as the status of women in the Mariano household, I'm joked with quite a bit that my daughter is my boss. So,
I'm going to set these here. We'll grab this after. I'll get in the middle. All right, we'll do it.
All right, folks, right here, please. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. There you go. And there's a whole staff here. And these are the other ladies. Yes. Thank you guys so much. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
All right, soon.
We got a slow morning. Okay, Commissioner Fitzpatrick, Res 4.
A resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, commending the Mendelson family and their company, Vantage Point AI, for their years of dedication, community service, and giving to the residents of Pasco County. Whereas the Mendelson family founded Vantage Point AI, in 1979 and have grown this business in Pasco County since 1987 to employ over 100 team members and has customers in over 160 countries around the world. Whereas Vantage Point was the first company in the world to provide independent stock traders
We're
with the
having them
power
come
of artificial intelligence-based predictive forecasts of financial markets for home computers. Vantage Point AI holds 3 U.S. patents for stock trading technologies. And whereas Vantage Point is regularly recognized as a top workplace in the Tampa Bay area by the Tampa Bay Business Journal and the Tampa Bay Times, the company is a certified great place to work and is on the Inc. 500 and Inc. 5000 lists of the top privately owned businesses in the United States. And whereas Vantage Point has leveraged its success and commitment to improving the lives of those around them. From this foundation, the company has continued to pay its achievements forward by donating to local charities in Pasco County, benefiting the community where Vantage Point maintains its headquarters. And whereas Vantage Point and the Mendelson family have donated over $739,000 to charitable organizations. Over 100,000 of their total charitable contributions were donated to the Shriners Hospital for Children, Children's Cancer Center, and the Louis B. Mendelson Entrepreneurship Scholarship, and Hope High Dollars for Scholars. And whereas Lane Mendelson has instilled into his daughters, Abby and Rachel Mendelson, the value for giving to those in need. Lane's measure of personal success in his daughters and their kind hearts and generosity. Abby, 8 years old, worked with her father to donate 340 pairs of shoes and over 700 pairs of socks to needy kids in Pasco County. Rachel, 11 years old, worked with her father to donate 70 backpacks filled with games, toys, and other activities to Pasco County Family Homeless Shelter. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby recognizes the Mendelson family and Advantage Point AI for their community involvement and dedication to the citizenry of Pasco County. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 8th day of March, 2022.
Move approval.
Approve.
I have 2 motions to approve, so I need 1 second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nobody? Great. Well, welcome. This is this Commissioner Fitzpatrick's, so we'll let her take the mic and welcome you here.
I would like to say thank you for everything that you do for our community and for our county. It's a blessing to have you here living in Pasco County and everything that you do for us. And I would like to also mention, I didn't hear it in there, but I really want to appreciate the girls again and mention Abby and Rachel because they are two amazing young ladies that I'm sure will excel very well in life. So thank you.
And in one of those photos that you saw, it was a fundraiser for the group that, what's it called again? The baby shower. What's the name of I'm trying to remember.
Suncoast Voices.
Suncoast, oh yeah. And that is a group that works with the sheriff's office and when kids are taken in and they go to foster parents, they frequently leave with nothing from the families. They have no clothes, nothing. And so there's a nonprofit, Suncoast Voices for Kids, that helps. It's a group of what's the name of it? Guardian ad litems who help. And it's just such a great organization. And I'm really grateful that, they donated so much, car seats, cribs. It was great. So go ahead, Christina.
I was just going to say one of Suncoast Voice's main missions is to help keep children out of foster care.
Yeah.
So if there is a non-relative care or a relative care and they just need a bed or they just need a crib or they need anything that they might need, they can provide that to the caregivers, the grandparents, and everything. And then instead of having another child go into the dependency system, into the foster care system, they can go into a non-relative or relative care. Thank you.
Yeah, so Blaine was,
I hope that that we'll do it again this year, because each year that I participate in a charitable giving opportunity, my goal is to give even more the next time. So I'm hopeful that we'll do it again. And I just want to say thank you to all the commissioners. Thank you to everybody who makes the county run so well. I've lived here since 1987. My daughters are here. I hope that they'll live their lives out in Pasco. And I thank you for the acknowledgement today. Although I don't do any of the charitable giving for acknowledgement, I do it for really 3 reasons. One is to obviously help people in our local community who are in need. The second reason is to inspire my daughters and show them how to be good humans, and so they can grow up and be responsible citizens in the county. And the third reason is to hopefully inspire others. So I hope that other people who have seen what we've done take action themselves, and it becomes a chain effect. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Commissioner Oakley wanted to say something.
Yeah, I'd like to say I thank you and your wife and your children for all that you do for the citizens in Pasco County and what you do for different groups of citizens that we have here. Your guidance for your children for the future is amazing, and it's awesome that you're able to do this type thing and do this kind of work, that you're making a difference in your own county, and we appreciate you as a citizen of Pasco County and the friendship that Lane and I've gotten. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Mariano.
Yeah, I want to say you guys are a phenomenal family. The girls are just going to be superstars, no doubt about it. Rachel got a little taste of going up to the state legislature, working as a rep for Page for Amber up there. How was that experience? Pretty good. All right.
Was
but,
that the youngest page ever?
Might have been. Who knows? But great. I guess your dad. I'll have your dad come up here too. Let's say Dad did phenomenal reason, Lane, and his whole family as well. So thank you guys for being such great citizens.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, yeah, great seeing you guys. You guys are awesome, and I've gotten to know you throughout the years myself too. So congratulations to you. I love that smile. She's so happy right now. Barely see you over the podium there. But thank you for all you do. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a resolution to give to you that's framed, and we'll come down and take a photo.
And how fitting that today we're here with the girls and it's International Women's Day. Perfect.
Folks right here. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. One more. Thanks. Thank you.
Right here. Thank you.
Spread the word, yes. Okay, I think our Red Cross folks are here.
If they're here or not.
Are the Red Cross folks here for the res? I thought so. Okay, so
Come forward.
we will go to Res 1.
Resolution number 22080, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, declaring the month of March as American Red Cross Month in Pasco County. Whereas American Red Cross was founded in 1881 by Clary Barton and has since become one of the world's most renowned charitable organizations in the world. The American Red Cross is dedicated to its mission of providing help and healing during times of crisis all over the globe. And whereas the American Red Cross dispatches volunteer relief workers when disaster strikes to assist anyone affected. Volunteers are trained to assist in countless important ways, from distributing supplies to counseling survivors. And whereas in 2021, the American Red Cross was dispatched to Pasco County to assist 93 families and 246 individuals who were victims of house fires. And whereas the American Red Cross is an exemplary force of goodwill and generosity, the humanitarian spirit exemplified by the American Red Cross volunteers is an integral part of our community in Pasco County. And whereas the contributions of our local Red Cross volunteers give hope to the most vulnerable in their greatest times of need. Our local volunteers have worked to provide emergency shelter, to provide food and comfort for families devastated by local disasters, to support service members and veterans through the unique challenges of military life, to help to save lives using emergency first aid, and to travel internationally to respond to emergencies. And whereas the American Red Cross designates the month of March as Red Cross Month to raise awareness of the importance of volunteering and to celebrate the contributions of all American Red Cross volunteers and partners. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County in regular session duly assembled, that said board hereby declares the month of March as American Red Cross Month and urges its citizens to support its noble mission. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 8th day of March, 2022.
Approval.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? No one? Good morning.
Morning. Thank you for having me. So excited to be here. Thank the commissioners for taking part of the proclamation. For those that may or may not know, this was created by President FDR in 1943. So every president since FDR has claimed March the Red Cross Month. And actually on the 23rd of the month is the big day when we do a lot of the fundraising, we do a lot of awareness activities, we do the blood drives. So we're very appreciative. We're trying to hit all of the areas in Pasco County to participate in the proclamation. Obviously, as I'm sure you can understand, it's been a very busy few weeks for the Red Cross. Very, very active, obviously, in Ukraine. And so we're just very thankful to be here and to take part of the humanitarian efforts as we can. So thank you very much for having us. And if there's any questions that you have, I'll be happy to answer anything. But
I'd like to thank you for your presence here in Pasco County and help our citizens throughout the county. So, and all the work you do globally. I mean,
it's
just
interesting. We were at the Rotary Club of Newport Richey the other day at their meeting, and we were looking at some statistics. And actually, Pasco County is one of the highest fire rates in all of Florida. So we cover that. I actually volunteer, still do the fire raids. So it's actually very, very busy for home fires and education and providing free smoke detectors, which the Red Cross does. It's just educating. So thank
good.
you.
Anybody else would like to say something?
Well, I used to serve on the board of the Red Cross of Tampa Bay, so
Thank
a
you.
number of years ago. So I
have
really,
parchment, so if everybody join
Yeah.
me down below.
Yeah.
so I appreciate all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, and I think we have one more. Commissioner Mariano's, Res 5.
Resolution number 22081, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, recognizing the 60th anniversary of the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council. Whereas founded in 1962, the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council was the first regional planning council in the state of Florida. This council is recognized as Florida's only multipurpose regional entity with the ability to coordinate intergovernmental solutions to growth-related problems on a greater than local issues, provide technical assistance to local governments, and meet the needs of the communities in each region. And whereas the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council represents 99% of the population in a 6-county region, which includes Citrus, Hernando, Hillsborough, Manatee, Pasco, and Pinellas counties, as well as in the following municipalities: Bradenton, Clearwater, Dade City, Dunedin, Gulfport, Largo, Madeira Beach, Newport Richey, Oldsmar, Palmetto, Pinellas Park, Plant City, Safety Harbor, St. Petersburg, St. Pete Beach, Seminole, South Pasadena, Tampa, Tarpon Springs, Temple Terrace, and Treasure Island. And whereas these local governments are represented on the council by elected officials appointed by their boards, these officials represent 2/3 of the council's membership. The governor appoints additional members, making up the remaining third of the council. There are also 3 ex officio members representing the Florida Department of Transportation, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Southwest Florida Water Management District. And whereas today, the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council is recognized both statewide and nationally as a leader in regional and resiliency planning. The plan, followed by the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council, is built to address 5 specific areas: economic development, emergency preparedness, natural resources, regional transportation, and affordable housing. The council works within this frame to set goals and create policies that aim to improve these areas. And whereas the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council has proudly served its citizens by providing a forum to foster communication, coordination, and collaboration. Over the past 60 years, the council has made historic contributions to the Tampa Bay region, improving the lives of countless people in the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby recognizes the 60th anniversary of the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council and its significant contributions to the quality of life for the citizens of the Tampa Bay region. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 8th day of March 2022.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? No one?
And I will present this at the next board meeting coming up. Very happy to say that resiliency has been I think, the forefront of all the things we're doing in the council right now. So for those years when DRIs were taken out in front of what's the relevancy? I think they're really helping us quite a bit right now for building a better, stronger Florida for the future.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with the work that they've taken on. So, and you want to talk about that, the conference that's coming up again?
Conference is going to be scheduled in April. I think it's the 11th or so. The first day is actually the same day we have a board meeting. The second day should be a good day. We're trying to get the governor down here, or President Simpson, or even Speaker Sprowls. But it's going to be all about construction standards. They've actually sent some stuff to our staff. We're responding back. I've got a citizens group meeting coming up, I think, this coming week. We're going to talk about improvements that can be made from, as you remember, that Boatyard Lane project where we had a seawall that was at a certain height and they wanted to move it up to the matching height of someone else. They've addressed that issue. They've addressed other construction issues. There was a great baffle box presentation done where they can actually take the stormwater from the homes even right on the water. And instead of it going through a yard, filtering it, they can actually put baffle boxes right there, treat the water before it releases out.
Oh, great.
Even take more impurities out of the water. So a lot of exciting things are coming up about it. We'll talk more about transportation issues, about where should those sewer lines be? Should they be up higher? Should they be lower? So just a lot of good things coming up.
Excellent. And the public can attend?
Public can attend, and you can even do it virtual as well. We'll make it a hybrid meeting.
And to learn about it, you go to the Tampa Where, to your website?
The Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council website.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's down in St. Pete or Clearwater somewhere?
Yes, actually, this will be held at the Carolyn Parkway Hotel down in Clearwater.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
St. Pete.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. All right, wow, interesting morning. We're now on commissioner items. So Commissioner Oakley.
Okay. Do you have a picture that you can bring up of the electric parking spaces? See, there's a picture. If you read that sign, it says David Goldstein. So it's a
Oh.
special little parking space just for him. So
Funny.
I've been pretty amazed with the
got
idea he
one.
drives an electric car. And I've been talking about putting a sign up there at one of those spaces for him when he comes and he's got his parking space and he can fuel while he's in the meeting. So, but it's been pretty amazing talking to him about electric car when in fact it was raining one day on the west side government center and he didn't have an umbrella with him, but he goes on his app in his phone and tells his car to come pick him up.
Oh, get out.
And he did it. And it came around to the front and he got in and drove off. So, but he actually did it. So it's pretty amazing, electric cars and, technology and all that's coming forward. So
So
but-
there is a plug at this parking spot?
there's been two there for quite a while.
Okay, very good.
We announced it a while back, but I guess you get so nobody remembers because everybody's not driving an electric car. But if you had an electric car, you'd be interested in those two spots right over
Yeah,
here on the corner.
my husband has a hybrid. I am curious, how many electric plug-ins?
I've talked to the
we
chief
have?
of police and James Walters, and he is thinking of painting those two spaces green so that we will continue having those spaces open for electric cars only and not other people parking there where the electric cars can't park and fuel up. So it's a good thing. So that's all I have today.
I wonder if we have enough plug-in spaces. Because
Well,
my
we've
next
got
car is
two
probably
and-
going to be,
I see
I
a
may
few
need it.
cars other than Mr. Goldstein's, but mainly his when he comes this way. So,
thank you.
okay,
How's the fair going?
gone.
It's gone? It's done.
Yeah.
How did it go?
Going, gone. No, the fair went off very well. I think they spread it out a little bit this year. Made the I think they made the rodeo. Nobody at the fair got to where they didn't believe that the rodeo actually brought people into the fair. And in actuality, they moved it ahead of the fair for 2 nights, and they had great attendance and brought in quite a bit of funds at the same time. So they proved themselves to be a good draw for the fair. So they spread a lot of things out. They changed a few things, how they were, the show for the steers would be on Tuesday night rather than Wednesday. And then on Thursday, have the sale for the steers. And then, of course, on Saturday, they had the pig sale and all that. So, but as far as I know, it went very well the entire week. And it was Chamber of Commerce weather. It was in the 80s most of the time. Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Which is not, most of the time, that's when we have our cold weather here. So, but it went very well.
Good. Commissioner Moore.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to update the board, I did go and visit Tallahassee again last week to continue to work on that Riz Roads Phase 2 appropriation. Obviously, the final budget is not out, so maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, we'll see. But in addition to our delegation members and legislators across the state, I was able to meet with the Governor's Office of Policy and Budget to share why this project is obviously so important, not just to Pasco County, but the entire Tampa Bay region. So,
Exactly.
yeah, so obviously we wanted to get in front of that in case it does get on the governor's desk and make sure they realize the importance of that again for the entire region, not just as obviously we know the economic development value of it as well, but it's really the hurricane evacuation for the entire region, which is the most important to all of us. So thanks to Andy. Actually, Andy was able to set that meeting up with the governor's office, and Ralph joined us for the meeting as well. So we'll keep you updated. And obviously, Ralph will keep you updated in the coming moments.
Right. I think it has to happen today, right?
I don't think we would like for it to happen today. I don't think it has to happen today.
okay.
They could stay through the weekend if they want.
If they want to end the session on Friday, it has to
Right,
happen today.
correct. So we'll see, right? One thing we do bring up, Commissioners, in February approved an item to pay the tolls for the northbound traffic on the Suncoast Parkway from Ridge until the Florida Turnpike Enterprise got the equipment fully in place, and the final agreement wasn't in place. So we delegated the authority to the county administrator Dan Biles to finish that agreement. Unfortunately, the Turnpike Enterprise has not responded with the final version of that agreement for us to actually finish that, have they? We're still waiting on that. So again, I don't understand why. I know Mark Cabala. Mike, do you want to come up real quick?
And
Is
we
that
haven't even
okay?
seen a draft version
Yeah.
to have our attorneys look at it. So
You know, I think it's important to bring up. You know, we're waiting on that. Our citizens are waiting on that. I did reach out to Representative Zika's office yesterday. They're so busy up there right now, but just to see if he had the availability, or him or Ash Mason, to reach out to them and just talk, maybe give them a little nudge. But we think about how important it is, obviously, to the county community, not only now, but for years to come. So we know there's always delays, but this is a quick, in my opinion, and you, Mike, you jump in.
Yeah,
This
no.
document's a pretty straightforward, easy document that doesn't need to be reviewed by 80 people.
No, this is what we're simply asking for is just an agreement to work out how we pay the turnpike for those tolls until the actual permanent tolling equipment is in place, which is scheduled for May. Our contractor is on schedule. That work is ready. That road is those ramps are ready to be open. We just need to get that counting equipment installed, and that agreement is what would hold us. We're told they're working on it.
But I mean, it's been 6 weeks.
Well,
It's
working
been a
on
while.
it, is it just a matter of a signature?
we've not even seen the agreement,
We
nor
haven't
to
seen the
have the
draft.
county attorney review it.
6 weeks for the agreement. We're still waiting. If you sign it, 2 days later, we'll be out there working. Right? It'll be
Correct. I mean, there's some noticing requirements, but we could have everything up and running within a week of executing.
Well, obviously, we thought that would be done, or we wouldn't have delegated to you a while ago,
That is correct.
A month ago.
a month ago.
And we were told it was imminent at that point.
Madam
So-
Chair?
I was tempted to drive it on it anyway today. I'm just
jump on.
I would have followed you.
I think
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Moore,
And I'll tell you,
Mariana.
my wife and I were driving back from Tampa the other night, and it was like a little bit late, and we're like, do we try to make that turn just to go try it? Because it hasn't tried it yet, and not.
I wouldn't advise it. It's not safe.
Well, but so many people, they could get their people used to traveling on that road now anyway, which would help the tolls later on. Now, let's face it, the money they're going to collect is a factor. However, the road's built, and why would we take a great piece of infrastructure we know is going to help traffic immediately? That's why it was so important of a road as well as evacuation, and to have a government bureaucracy slowing it down because they can't collect money is absolutely ridiculous. I think, especially when you've been up there, I think we should send a letter to the governor.
I was just thinking that
saying
myself.
just open the thing up if they get the agreements. The people paid for that road, that travel it anyway. Why are we going to hold them up to just because you can't? And no fault to them as far as deliverables. But if that road is ready, that the road should be opened. Period. So I think a
Madam
letter
Chair?
should go.
Yeah, I know. I like your idea. So let's maybe if we don't get it by EOB tomorrow, have
Today.
the
I would
give the
send it
chair give the chair direction to sign the letter right now. You want to make the motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion. We send the letter
Second.
today.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Because this discussion may get them to
I
send it today.
That was, yes, sir. I would agree. You know, the letter is a great idea, but phone calls work just as well or better
They do.
or more immediate.
But no, he's
So,
right though.
yeah,
But you know, if we don't get it by EOB tomorrow, something
Yeah,
send a letter out.
we will contact the governor's
we'll
office.
get that.
Yeah.
And, you know, just to be clear, you know, once that agreement, the road is ready for traffic or can be ready for traffic within 48 hours notice. We got to adjust the traffic control, the construction traffic control. So that takes a couple days, but once the agreement's signed, they have 7 days to get their counting equipment out. And
Right.
so, I think we would be perfectly willing to retroactively make the agreement retroactive, just get the equipment out there and
Right.
open it. And once we sign the agreement, we know what's
Then we can blow
out
them
there. Get it open to the public.
Yeah,
You're the
that's it.
customer, get it open to the public. That's
Madam-
what we've been pushing all along.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Yes.
So since we're going to be, I'm making an assumption that we're going to probably be done by 11 or something here. Can you reach out to your team and have them just draft a letter for the chair to sign she can sign it today while she's here, and then it'll be ready to roll. All right, cool.
Not a problem.
All right, thank you. I'm done.
All right. Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
I didn't realize how busy I was until I started writing everything down. But I think there's some photos. We had our annual community cleanup. We had the Moonlight cleanup last weekend on the 5th and the 6th. It was the most successful cleanup to date. They had 26 tons at the CDO and 129 tons from the site from Winn-Dixie and Moonlight Park. There was about 155,000 tons of debris compared to 97 tons last year and 99 tons last year and 97 tons the year before. I would like to say congratulations and thanks to the teams for resource recovery, environmental compliance, public works, code enforcement, and Pasco County staff and local volunteers for coordinating a great service to the residents of Moon Lake. I had the opportunity to stop by both days, and I was there for a lengthy time on Sunday, and I got to drive around the area. It has definitely, the quality of the area looks a lot nicer just by driving and seeing the roads that are a lot more clean. The next photos. Okay, so I ended up going to the TAN meeting, and a lot of the people that attend this meeting are in the medical field, so I thought it would be very important to take Commissioner Starkey's social service flyers and hand those out there. Also give out the brochures for the area agency on aging, and also I happen to have the Viola Lives with me. I think it's really important that every elderly or disabled or anyone has one of these little pill, it's about a pill bottle, and you put all of your important information. So when the fire department shows up at your house, there's a sticker that goes on your front door. They know to check your refrigerator. They know all of your current medical conditions, your past medical conditions, your medications, if you have allergies, and your emergency contact is on there as well. So, thank you.
Where do you get that BioLife thing?
Pasco County Charities, Pasco County Charities, I believe.
Okay, well, I'd like to get one from my mom, so.
Okay, I have an extra.
Okay.
So I gave everyone out except one. So I think I left it in my car. So
Excellent.
all right. It's very important to get the information out to our elderly. And especially, I was telling everyone that evening about the transit Go Pasco. So they can be picked up from their home and transported directly to their doctors and have door-to-door service for $2 each way.
Excellent.
Next.
Is that it?
I don't know what photos they have. Do you have any more photos? No photos? Okay. So I did get to take a tour of the La Hacienda. They will be having their grand opening very soon in downtown Newport Richey, and thanks to Dylan Gomez. It was exciting to see history coming back to life in downtown Newport Richey.
Do they have a date yet?
It's coming soon.
Yeah. I've been hearing that for 2 years.
I was able to attend the Pasco Grow 2022. That's put on by the PEDC. That's delivering high quality programs for small businesses. And we are also in the process, as it was discussed earlier, for Suncoast Voices, the commissioner's baby shower to support Suncoast Voices. I was also able to attend the Hudson Seafood Festival at SunWest Park, and that was a great event. There were many people there, and there's another great event coming up this weekend. It is the Blues Festival at Heritage Park in Land O'Lakes from 12 to 8. Oh, it's right here. And no, there was something. I'm going to end there because I did a lot. I had a lot on my plate. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Mariano.
Thank you. Got a few things going on. We're going to get a letter from for the MPO and for the county commission probably at the next meeting about the county light rail support. Carl's working on that. I've got an appointment to make. It's going to be a temporary appointment. Lauren Maselli, who sat on the Restore Committee, won't be able to serve for a bit for hopefully good reasons going through. So I want to appoint Mike Bishop to be the acting member
Okay.
for Economic Development.
Take a motion.
That's a motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you. And Sally, I was going back and forth on an email. There's a gentleman named Jorge Phoebus, bought a piece of property on an unplatted piece of property that looks like it had a former house on it. Property appraisal site doesn't show it. There shows from a picture before that there was a structure that looks like a house that was on there. There's a septic system that he says was on there, and he's gone through the construction. They almost didn't want to build. Matter of fact, he says, my wife wanted to sell the property, move to Citrus County to avoid the high impact fees, but I decided to stand fast. I'm a former Pasco County employee, former law enforcement, and a Navy veteran. He's got a full-time job. He's a small business owner and takes care of his disabled veteran mother, who is also a Pasco County resident. His wife is a teacher at classical prep in Pasco. His roots are here. This is where we will stay. Any help you can provide will be greatly appreciated. I met him a while ago through the construction. I said we'd take a look at it. I gave time to, I think, go through the whole thing, but when I see a structure that's there, I don't know if we got tax records going back and what we've gone to look at, but I don't want this to go on longer because this builder's putting pressure on him to go. So can you update me what you know about this?
And Commissioner, I saw your email, Sally Sherman, Assistant County Administrator, Development Services. I saw your email just less than an hour ago. I know that this has been asked and answered. The way that our mobility fee schedule is set up, the home that they were referring to was back in 1979. I do believe because there was never any impact fees or transportation fees paid on it, the way our code is set up, they still have to pay a fee. I will double check, but I know it had been asked and answered and responded to when we looked at it in November, December of last year.
Okay, so what I know as far as us putting impact fees in and raising them through the years, if a housing structure was there, depending on the size would dictate what that size would be. So if it was less than 1,500 feet, there's a certain fee. If it's a bigger unit than that, they would pay the difference to it. Whether they paid impact fees or not does not matter to when these things were set up. It's for new growth coming in. So if there was some growth before a house was there, they get credit for whatever the house was, and any new increase in size is where they pay the fee.
If that
is
house
my
was,
understanding.
if that house was in existence when the impact fees were adopted.
Right.
Because it would have been considered background.
Exactly. So I think we do a little bit more research, but I think if that was the assumption you were taking or your staff was taking, that needs to be addressed and corrected. So I would like to work with you. I know I had Roy Mazur on it before, but again, he's getting close to the deadline, so I'd like to work with you on getting that resolved.
Okay, and I'll make
right.
sure that we pull the information that was previously provided and take a look at it again.
Okay, and then maybe I'll get County Attorney Steinschneider involved too to clarify as well. All right, thank you very much. And keep up the good work, Sally. I know you got a lot going on. I just want to alert the board, something I've talked about before on Old Dixie Highway. There's a bridge that was built. I got a little more information over the past research that was done. The bridge was changed back in 1989. The structure itself is good, but what they did was they took out a lift on it that allowed bigger boats to go through. Now there's 200 homes on canals that can't get out to the water because unless they have I think it's a 4-foot clearance right now. We're looking at the bridge to be adjusted to go to a higher level, which would open up those properties tremendously, and it goes right out to Cow Creek, right out to the Gulf of Mexico. So I just want to let you know, I'll be talking with Dan. He's got the new information from a new bid that came in. Staff doesn't have the money at this point to fund it. We're going to go take a look at funding it forward, but hopefully we'll get that resolved coming up, but it's something that we're working on. And-
Commissioner Mariano, is that something that the county's funds, or do the residents pitch in on that funding, or what's your thought there?
Well, I think if we do the MSBU like we talked about doing through the whole region, we could actually do that as well. So there may be an opportunity there, but we needed to get the study done to take the next step. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Administrator.
Commissioner Mariano, were you going to ask about the County Line Road letter of support for Hernando County?
I mentioned that'll be coming up.
Well, that would be for the board, not the MPO.
We'll do the first one for the board now?
The letter we sent you yesterday is for the chair to sign, not the MPO.
Okay, so I've got a letter from the MPO staff to support a letter for County Line Road, so. That made my motion, thanks.
All in favor of signing the letter of support for County Line Road funding?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Yeah, and I've been,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Jeff Holcomb had reached out to me, Jack, on that too.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
Okay, thank you.
1 second, we'll come back to you.
That's fine.
On Saturday, I received a phone call between 9:30, 10 o'clock at night of an elderly homeless lady. She was 75 years old. She had been released previously from the hospital, and she had had heart surgery. And I was very concerned, so I was able to reach out to the Homeless Coalition. The hotels even happened to be booked, I guess, along 19 that they used. So there was nowhere to bring this homeless lady that was 75 that had just got out of heart surgery. And so they ended up bringing her back to the hospital, and they attended to her needs. And about midnight, I received a phone call that they were discharging her. And I was very concerned about this because their social worker didn't come in until 8 a.m. They ended up letting her stay there until 8 in the morning, and I showed up at the hospital, and I was able to meet with the caseworker and speak with her, and we were able to get her into a hotel that day. I was going to bring her to the hotel, and the Homeless Coalition ended up funding it. And I would like to say thank you to Kathy's team. I had reached out to Code, the Pasco Sheriff's Office that day, try to figure out what to do for her. Right now, she is in a hotel for a couple days, but it's really sad because there's nowhere for her to go right now. And they do have a funding source, an income. So where can we put this lady that has sufficient income to get back into housing that has been on the streets for the past month to 3 months?
Yeah, very sad.
And again, Kathy's team has been on top, but if you want to give an update to the board, but I just feel we need more services.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Mariano, and then you.
So I want to bring something up, maybe you can even address this, because this is going to be something coming before your group as well. The Rope Center years ago, they house a lot of homeless people. We built a structure with them where they built enough for 20 beds on one side for all the men, 20 for the women.
Yeah, I've been there.
Generally speaking, the women's side is never full. Matter of fact, they came to me, and I think they came to even your team at some point to say, look, if we can go work with the other land we have, I can build a facility just for the ladies, and we can have 20 more men go in place. Now, there's going to be some grants they've been applied for by, I think, March 10th, maybe March 8th, somewhere in that window. They're going to apply for that. Recently, Marcy and the team looked at buying a hotel, Suncoast Hotel, right up on
That's
US
not
19.
going through?
What's that? Not going to go through. They wanted too much money. Now, that was going to be about 17 beds as well. The money we were going to spend on that hotel, this building we could have built would have been less money. And the Rope Center could run it and help these
So
people.
why aren't they applying to Marcy for?
They are applying to him, and they've tried in the past before, but haven't had a lot of success since, and the great success we had with them getting that first building built. But I just want to let the board know that's coming forward. So this situation you're talking about is exactly where this lady could go, and that option may be available for her right now.
You know, a couple months ago, there was a gentleman who was released from Trinity Hospital, and he still had a catheter, and he was in the Mitchell Ranch Plaza, just out in front of one of the restaurants there, for a couple days in a wheelchair with a catheter, drunk, and he had all those empty bottles all around him. But it was pretty sad. Your staff, the Homeless Coalition went out. They got him back to the hospital. I don't know what they did there. Then they released him, and then he was in front of another store at Mitchell Ranch for a couple days in his wheelchair. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
So a lot of times they can put people into skilled nursing and different things like that. Sometimes elderly and disabled people, they will say no, they don't want help at first. We need to work a little bit, and the hospitals need to work a little bit more to build that rapport so they feel comfortable accepting the services, because I've seen it. We don't want PT, we don't want physical therapy and occupational therapy and all these services, but they really need it and they could thrive on them. I do need a ground zero. I feel Ozanam, I have reached out to them, would be a perfect fit for this lady. I did contact the Rope Center. They only take people on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the morning, and they have to be there by a certain time. So when I'm at the hospital at 8 a.m. and I transported her out to the hotel, and I stayed with her until she got situated, but now I'm working on getting a meal train to go on out there as well. But it's really important that we have the services for Ground Zero.
Madam Chair, I didn't want to continue to keep going on and on. I'm just curious.
Oh, we got.
I know. So I'm yeah. What hospital was this? She got DC'd from?
The one on Madison used to be North Bay.
No, it is North Bay.
It is North
If it's
Bay.
on
Okay.
Madison, yeah.
And you're stating, again, we got to watch out, and we're not mentioning her name because of obviously privacy laws, but you're saying she had heart surgery and they discharged her from the hospital.
That was previously a month or ago.
Okay,
ago.
so
I don't know which hospital she was at originally.
you're saying she was on the streets for a month
A month, or then it changed to 3 months. I'm not sure.
from the hospital. She didn't go to skilled after the hospital?
No, they said she denied services. Well, if someone's in that state of mind, I don't think they're ready to make the decision to deny services.
And unfortunately, yeah, they do and they can, unfortunately. Possibility in Baker acting is very hard these days, as people will attest to. Okay, I was just curious. It just seems odd. I mean, you typically, obviously, the case manager or the discharge planners are involved in
I saw it in
discharge.
Trinity.
Yeah, and make sure, like you said, maybe a skilled, go to sniff for a while. I mean, under Medicare, they can at least go 21 days or more. If they have Medicaid, a little harder to find a spot for them. But yeah, that just seems, yeah, it seems very odd.
I mentioned skilled nursing, and they had made the comment, well, she's already been discharged, so we can't look at that at this point.
That would have to be well, okay. So discharged from the hospital, they could go to skilled if the need is there, and they can prove the need's there. And if she qualifies for Medicare or Medicaid or whatever it is, you can still go to skilled later if you have a doctor's order. So it doesn't have to be out of the hospital just then. If the doctor writes an order, they can go to skilled. But again, that's a temporary situation. But having somebody discharged, that's why I was curious. I mean, like they discharge her right when she left the hospital. I mean, put her on the street right when she left the hospital. That just didn't seem normal. Yeah.
Commissioner Mariano.
Sorry, but
Was she homeless before
Yeah,
she got
that's-
into the hospital? I
that's-
mean, where's the tie in there? Like, where was she before the surgery?
I'm a little confused on this one.
She had a place to live, and there was a situation at the home or livable, or there was a comment made, you can't continue living like this. I don't remember. But she thought that she wasn't allowed to return when she heard that comment. So she had been living on the streets.
So Commissioner, can I give an update? So
Yes, sir.
Brian Hoban, Director of
Thank you.
Community Services. We had a case manager go out to the hotel that she's currently at yesterday and spend several hours with her. There are multifaceted issues. She does not have communication. She doesn't have transportation. She doesn't even have Florida identification right now. So we're working all of those aspects, as well as getting her comfortable with the solution of an ALF. She is very much so not comfortable with nursing homes, has refused several offers for services through case management through the hospital, and working with other partner agencies. So we're working very, very hard to break down those barriers with her, establish some rapport. We did extend her stay with partner agency funding at that current location, and we are working through those aspects right now. But it's again multifaceted. We're starting with the basics. She needs an identification before she can do absolutely anything, and that is our first priority, as well as getting her some communication. We don't even have a way of reaching her or responding to her once she leaves, if she does leave that location. So we're working very, very hard and diligent with her on all of the multi-tiered levels of issues that she's currently facing right now.
Thank you. And I'll follow up after the meeting.
Yeah,
today.
I
Thank
actually
you.
sent you a very detailed email late last night to kind of depict some of that. So if you have any follow-up questions, please reach out. The team is, again, out there today working with her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we go back to the administrator.
All right. I don't know if Ralph has any updates, but I have a couple before. Is he shaking his head? No. No. Okay. All right. Maybe at some point today we'll have updates on the state budget, because there's more than, while Ridge Road is one, there's other things that we're interested in as well. So, and also watching bills die or pass this week as well that have significant impacts on the county. So, reminder, we have a meeting with the school district, a workshop on the 29th of March for Penny for Pasco, to discuss Penny for Pasco with them and what their plan is and what our plan is.
Madam Chair, that's the 29th, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what's our, I was actually going to bring this up. What's your time frame? Is that a 10 to 12? What are we looking at?
That's 10
We're
to
just trying to book
12.
meetings after that.
Yeah,
so.
I don't expect it. It's not going to go any longer than that. It'd probably be shorter than that, but 10 to 12.
So 12 is a good cutoff?
Yes, yes,
All right,
sir.
we were just trying to book some meetings in the office after, so.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
At our new, library there in Starkey. Let you know again that Animal Services won more state awards last night or Saturday night. Dr. Glenn, your Star Performer of the Year, was a state award winner last night for her role at Animal Services. And then Spencer Conover also won the Supervisor of the Year at the state level for Animal Services. So they continue to bring awards home and demonstrate the impact and how well the Animal Services job does their service here in Pasco County. The last thing, well, we'll send out the good news to you. It's a whole page and a half, and you'll notice a picture of Joanna and that was out cleaning up Anclote Boulevard with the Great American Cleanup this weekend. So there's a whole page and a half, 2 pages worth of things going on positive in the community that your team is working on, from code to libraries to parks. And the last thing I'll mention, Thursday and Friday I'll be out. I would have been asked to present at the Georgia City and County Managers Association regarding the culture change that we've done here in Pasco County and the impact that that has had on customer service and the community as a whole. So, we were national best places to work. So that journey and that just how we got there is I will be walking the city and county managers in Georgia through that on Friday morning. So we gave that at ICMA, the International One Conference last fall. And so this is going to be the 4th or 5th time we've given that one. So I'll be available, but not when I'm speaking. So.
Okay, very cool. It's an honor. Is that it? Okay, someone's next. It is the CAO, you.
I don't have anything.
No? Okay, the clerk,
Nothing at this time.
and this says sheriff. Sheriff, want to talk about anything? I don't know.
The sheriff can speak if he has something to address you on.
Okay.
It's not an every meeting thing.
All right, well, I have something I wanted to bring up to you. I think I've mentioned it briefly, but it's in my never-ending challenge to clean up Pasco County, 30-year endeavor. I have some photos, and I have a list. So this is Commissioner Fitzpatrick, you weren't here, but the other commissioners were here when a company moved in. Well, actually, it was a repair shop on 19, and they wanted to add a towing facility. And so we said, well, that's, that kind of look is not what we want on US 19. We're trying to reimagine 19. And we had them come in with a opaque fence and landscaping, and it looks really nice on 19. It's an asset. This is a company that's moved onto 54 without permits to open up a towing site. And this is what's greeted on 54 is the chain link, barbed wire, no landscaping. It's very unsightly. It kind of reminds me of the federal prison. And I don't think this is what we want 54, 56, and other roads to be looking like. So I have another one. Let's see, where's my list on my phone? This is 54 near 19. Keep going. Some more on 54. We've got Trinity Towers. For some reason, which I don't understand how we're allowing this. This is where they had all the oak trees and they cut them all down when you drive on 54. We allowed them to put the landscaping behind the fence. And so it does absolutely nothing. And this is just before you get to Starkey Boulevard. And I just don't think that should be allowed either. We've got another one on Massachusetts.
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
And just to tell you, it's not just down there too, because on Old Dixie Highway, we had a guy come in with a storage area. And the storage area is going to house, boats, et cetera. And behind it is the landscaping.
Yeah.
On the other side, they've got an opaque fence. I go, what did we do?
Yeah.
So it makes no sense.
Makes no sense. I've
glad
seen
you
it
brought
on
it up.
Grand Boulevard. This is Massachusetts. This one was put in like last week. This is a new storage facility coming in on Massachusetts. That's just not, we should not be allowing this. And I have one more, we have a video. Is this? I don't know what that is. I don't remember where that one is, but I thought I had a video.
Looks like a Foursquare quote.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Is there a
Commissioner
video?
Swenson, speaking of that property, I know I've spoke to someone in the past.
Can you hang on 1 second? Okay, so show the video here. Oh, yeah, so that was the beginning of the video. I mean, I just don't think that that's what we want. Go ahead, Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
Speaking of that storage facility on Massachusetts, I still don't feel that it's right that the main entrance is inside of someone else's neighborhood.
Oh, okay, well, I don't know about that one, but Terry, Would you mind coming up? You had some suggestions where we thought maybe we could do some tweaks to our, I think it's our land development code, that could fix this quickly, and some thoughts on what roads shouldn't allow that kind of look. I mean, first of all, I don't think we should ever allow the landscaping behind the chain link fence. But I certainly think we need to be looking at different kinds of fences. And Terry?
Sure. Good morning, Commissioner, Madam Chair. Nectario Pitos, Planning and Development Department. We have had some preliminary conversation internal to the department, and we think that the changes to the Land Development Code to accommodate a potential change to our fence requirements is feasible. We would probably target this toward our main arterial and collector roads, and those roads that have a transit emphasis on them, so State Road 54, 56, 52, the north-south arteries like US 19, Little Road. I could march all the way to the east, but you get the idea. I think with regard to the landscaping, you have they're on the inside of the fence lines, mainly because the orientation is screened to the larger traffic areas. If you move the landscape to the outside of the fence line, then the orientation of the landscaping is screening for motorists, right? So it's a preference.
Well, I think that's what we want, is we want to project a better view from the road. I don't want to be inside a storage facility and looking at screening me from the road.
I understood. Yeah, I'm just explaining. I think that's why the landscaping ends up on the inside.
Think about it in terms of resident. I understand your point, but think about it in the code is also being used for residential. And so traditionally you screen the neighborhood from the road.
Yeah, it's in
commercial.
That's up to the neighborhood, but the traveling public needs to be protected from ugly. Commissioner Moore, Mariano, and then Fitzpatrick.
I mean, it's absurd, number one, for just even isolating it to arterial roads or busy roads. Like Old Dixie Highway is a quiet road. I don't know if they would even qualify, but every road that should have a business on it, it only makes sense. We put the land, you tell me, you were on it long ago.
Yeah.
But we want the place to look good from the roadway when people driving by.
Right.
Having a storage area, for instance, and a fence with an opaque block on it, nobody's going to see that except the people inside the property. Who cares? It should be on the outside of the road when you're looking. I mean, literally on Old Dixie Highway, we're looking at, like, part of the issue was, all right, there's a trail that's going to be expanded going up there. So, how much room is it going to be? How far is the setback going to be? And they were afraid to put the trees too close to the sidewalk type of thing. They could have moved the fence back. That was like too much to do. So now we got a fence instead of looking at palm trees and bushes.
Yeah, I mean palm
and
trees.
vegetation. That's what we
cause
want to
any
see. We
big
want the
damage.
people to see it. We're not worried about how it looks inside. We will look how it looks outside.
Right.
So I don't know why it's a big change.
No,
And I think it might even be a misinterpretation of the code.
Yeah, I think so
I don't know
too.
that it is a big change either, because all it is just articulating that the landscaping shall be on the right-of-way side of the fence, right?
Yeah.
So that just means that the fence is no longer at the property line. It means that the fence is probably 10, 20 feet within the property line, so that whatever buffer yard is there, let's say, can be facing the right-of-way.
Yeah, and that one, by putting the landscape inside on the Trinity, well, I don't even think it should be a chain link fence personally. So let's cover one thing at one time. Would you like to see them come back with a change so that we don't do this? It's
kind of wasting Madam Chair. You're kind of wasting the landscaping when you have it that way too. So here we are. Yeah, no, I mean.
We need both. We need the landscaping in front, but we
Well, I
don't need
understand,
chain
but
link
if
and
it's
barbed
behind
wire.
it,
Yeah.
If it's behind it, it's a moot point. Why
Yeah.
put it there? Like you said, you can't see it.
Yeah.
So now it's actually the negative for, when you think about it, actually for the business owner too, because they're being told to put it here, which is behind a chain link fence, and now they're wasting possibly tens of thousands of dollars to even do that. So it makes absolutely no sense. Yes, it should be in the front. That's common sense. Come on.
But of any fence.
Yeah, yeah.
However,
any
I want to just make sure, and I think I see agreement here that the chain link barbed wire thing doesn't belong on our main arterials and collectors and whatever other roads in your districts that you want to designate. You know, we started, I remember when I worked on the billboard ordinance, you were here then. I think you were here then. I think, and you were here then. And I'll never forget being the citizen activist over there. And the county attorney, Bob Sumner, said, all right, I want all of you to go back to your districts and decide which roads you want to keep scenic. Because, you know, we were about to build Starkey Boulevard, and we said, we don't want any billboards. We want to keep that scenic road on Starkey Boulevard. And all the commissioners went back and thought about their district, and Sylvia Young, I'll never forget, just started listing all the roads, Commissioner Oakley, in your district that they didn't want to have any billboards on. And then Commissioner Hildebrand, and then before you knew it, I mean, they kept adding roads at the board meeting, and before you knew it, Sumner said, it looks to me like what you're asking for is a total ban, and that's how we got the total ban, because they were all saying, well, I don't want this road degraded, I don't want this road degraded. So, that I mean, driving on 52 here, I see Paul is moving from 54 to 52, and on 54 they had an opaque fence. They had a white vinyl fence across 54, thank goodness. But now I see on 52 they have a chain link fence with barbed wire.
That makes
We got
sense, though.
Angeline coming in there, and you know we're trying to build a nice communities, and we're gonna chain link and barbed wire. We can do better. So, okay, I think you have direction.
Well, quick question.
Yeah.
You mentioned the opaque fences. The chain link and the barbed wire, there's a preference not to see it. Is there a fence type that is preferred?
We can't make that decision right now.
Well, just not chain link and barbed wire. Chain link or chain link and barbed wire.
Correct.
Or chain link with those little slats through it.
I think there may be some very few exceptions for chain link, and maybe we should leave that window open.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
So,
Yeah, I think,
but I have to go through a process.
yeah, because you might run, here's some of the issues you may run into.
Right.
Because we start losing 50, we talk about 54, 56, 40, 41, wherever it may be. We still do have some ag properties along there.
Yeah.
That need barbed wire, need fencing for the cattle.
Yeah.
So we can't, if we bar it, that means they can't have cattle there anymore. So we can't do that.
Yeah, so I
We
want
have to figure a way
to
to-
make sure that we, and I can't think of any right now, but there could be some exceptions. And so certainly want to have people say they need that exception.
Right.
But for the most part, when they can, you know, storage facility can put an opaque fence. A lot of these others can put an opaque fence, landscaping.
Right, right.
Don't degrade our communities. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's all I had,
I would
actually.
like to
Oh, no.
expand.
Huh?
Say, speak. I would just like to expand not just the main roads, but if they're putting a new business inside of a community, then that should be nicely buffered with a fence as well.
Agreed. A nicer fence than chain link. I mean,
Thank you.
chain link is okay for ag. Okay, so just wanted to alert you that although none of us were contacted and asked for quotes in the Florida Tread, which is unusual, we've always been. They did a story on Pasco County in this month's edition of Florida Trend, and I just thought I'd read to you what it says on the very opening page. Although I'm looking at a neighborhood with no trees, and is this Tampa Bay Golf and Country Club? Well, code needs to go in there and see where the trees are. It says Tampa Bay's emerging north. Listen to those who live and or work in Pasco County, and a distinct sense of place emerges. It's represented in a mixture of adjectives such as amazing and inspiring, blended with further descriptors such as great diversity, a gem, and a phenomenon. Call it the Pasco vibe, and that vibe is all about growth. So pretty nice. So I'll be looking at this at lunch, but very exciting.
Excellent.
With that, we're adjourned.
Thank you.
Recess. We are not adjourned.
Yeah, we're done.